did this, it's because it was having a problem with 1080p. So maybe I may have to drop it down to 720p, which looks like butt cheeks, but it will at least get us on the show.
Okay.
So let's see. No, this is just the camera quality. Hold on one second here. This will decrease. Yes, this will stay on 720p. Okay. I think the show is 720p now. Yes, it is. Okay. Let's try this now. It's not great, but we'll get it done. Here we go. Once again from the top.
All right, okay. So usually we open up the show with a little cold opening, right? But this week's a little different, man, because we got a big episode here, all right? And I want as much time as possible with our special guest. So, in Lord Cognito fashion, okay, let's introduce our special guest, okay, right off the bat, and let's get this started, okay? Introducing the host of the Iron Lords podcast on Sundays, co-host of Defining Duke with Maddie Plays, and one of the best voices in all podcasting, the one and only, the Tekken Master, the Yakuza Trailblazer, Lord Cognito joins us on Gamers Playground. K, what else you got to add to that?
Oh, bro, I think you've said all that it is to say. I would say we walk on the shoulders of giants, and we have a giant with us today. He is known as the beefy one, but the only thing beefier than the pecs is his heart.
Oh,
welcome,
you mean Lord
Cognito.
Beefy? Lord Beefy here, the master of health is wealth right here. We got him live.
Fantastic. Well done,
Yo, well done, gentlemen. That was hilarious. First of all, the Cyberpunk beat was a whole vibe. So I was already in. I was already in. Yo, much love, a lot of fun. It's good to be a guest and be introduced once in a while. Much love, man. Really appreciate it. I always got much respect for you, brothers, and yeah, love to see what you're doing in this space, talking games and tech. I'm in the realm of the playground. I was told it was a safe space for console guys too, that come in. We're trying to unify this thing. We're trying to do no class system with gamers. We're going to talk gaming, and I'm excited, man. Love what you got on the docket. So yeah, let's get to it.
Amazing, man. Thank you so much, Cog. Honestly, like I was telling you in the green room, anytime that anyone wants to join our show and dedicate their Monday evening to me and Kay Asante, we are so appreciative, especially everybody in the chat that's already there, our usual suspects. Thank you all so much, and thank you, Cog, for joining us. This is Gamers Playground episode 42. and we properly named this the realm of gamers. I wonder why, right? Okay, so a little on the nose there, but yeah. So tonight, guys, we're basically going to have a heck of a show. Our game plan is simple. We're going to cover a couple of topics, and then Cog, the rest of the show is going to be dedicated to asking you questions, man, because me and Kay Asante want to know your PC journey, man, because many of us, like myself, everyone that listens to the show knows that I jumped on the PC this generation. Wasn't a big fan of PC gaming before because of all the tropes and all the things you would hear about the drivers, about this, about that. And little by little, Kay Asante has helped me peel that onion. You know, we're having handheld wars on a daily basis. Okay. All right. And it's the Raccoons versus the CCP. Who's going to win at the end? Okay. I think they're both winners, but that's just me. So without further ado, guys, let's get into our first topic so that we just get right into this thing, right? I don't know if you gentlemen saw this, but Asus is also moving into space, not only on the handhelds, but it looks like they want to kind of dip their toes for under the TV, right? So PC under the TV, that's basically what our first topic is going to cover. Did you guys over the weekend hear about the ROG nuke? Lord Cognito, you're our guest. I'll let you go. I'll let you have the first crack at this. Do you even know what this is? Have you heard about this? Have you seen anything at all with the ROG nuke?
No, actually, I'm glad you brought it to my attention. Yeah, it's my first time really kind of getting familiar with the Nux, and I understand kind of like the form factor and what I think the goal is, and try to get people into that space with a kind of compact, game changing as far as getting people the barrier of entry to not be intimidated by a PC. And I thought what they were doing here from a 1440p perspective was pretty solid. I think my only issue is, again, looking at from from a casual who maybe wanting to get into PC was just kind of like, man, that price point though was a bit aggressive. And I was just like, man, yep. I could see, like, for example, someone like an uncle or a mom saying, okay, I would get something like this, but then when I try to sell them on that price, that would be the main barrier right there. So love the idea, love what they're trying to do, loves from a spec standpoint, pretty impressive. Don't have to go 4K, you can do a nice 1080p/1440p device, but we got to get a little bit better on that price point to get that engagement that they're looking for, in my opinion.
Yep, I agree. So okay, I'm gonna bring you in on the conversation now. Here's the thing, and kind of to piggyback on what Lord Cognito was saying, this thing when it was first announced, I was like, oh man, this is pretty cool because Asus shiny new thing, all this stuff, right? And then that price. But here's the thing that got me even more like shocked. This thing is sold out on their website. Like, who bought this? Who? Wow. $2,200, man. I mean, that's pretty hefty. But I guess that they must have made like 50 of these or something, right? But honestly, like, it's incredible how even the most this is what I've seen. Even the most unique idea that you think is going to be just for a segmented audience, it's incredible how these things are selling. What do you think, Kay? What do you think about this idea? Well, just this device in general.
So I'm pretty familiar with the Nook devices. Let me give you a little bit of a schooling, as it were.
There you go.
These things were old. Like, they are old. They've been around since 2012, 2013. They were being produced only by Intel, and they were being produced for servers, believe it or not. Small little devices that you could stack on top of each other. Nook means next unit computing. So it was just basically servers that you could roll multiples and just stack them on top of each other in a server farm environment and just do a lot of different things there, right? So and COG speaks real truth to what led to them where they are today. Intel ran with it for a while and no one would buy it. Why? Because in order to machine the mobile parts, because these aren't like desktop class, they are mobile parts, to machine them down to such a small form factor and to be able to like really balance them so that they don't overheat and stuff like that, cost a lot of money. So eventually Intel, who invented the thing, got out of the business and started licensing it to ROG. So now ROG makes the Nooks, but they basically pay a license fee to Intel to using that name. But the point that the COG makes is so apt, because on this show, you guys know, I've been advocating Don't be Mr. CEG with a $4,000 PC in the bedroom. I see you there, Lord.
Come on, man. Why are you throwing that slander to Everborn?
Damn,
I'm gonna go
Everborn caught it straight.
We throw bows all day. It's fine.
Hey,
we throwing bows.
PC manufacturers are embracing CEG, but go ahead.
But you understand what I'm saying? I'm always advocating for like a mini PC. Like I have one on my desk here. This one is like $700, right?
Yes.
I don't advocate for you jumping in if you don't know what you're doing right off the bat, like getting a big beefy machine, right? I advocate for something simple. As soon as he said beefy, gotta put some guns.
Yeah, I mean,
that's my cue.
the only thing beefier than Lord Cognito's arms is his stomach right here, man. But go ahead.
Stop it.
So, savage. Continue.
I have always advocated for people just getting into something small like this, but that price is debilitatingly expensive, right?
Bring that back. What are we doing over here? Okay.
Yeah, it's a small device. It's not very powerful, but it depends on what you need. It's not about
see some USB 3.0. What's the output? What's the output?
WSB,
little HDMI, little Ethernet.
HDMI. It's got this is way more powerful than say a Raspberry Pi, but you're not playing AAA games on this thing.
Got it.
Right. So like for my daughter, it works perfectly for her homework and also Minecraft, right? Stuff like that. But there are many levels to this. Shout out to Doc Dark. You can get many tiers of these type of devices and they won't cost you $2,000. Like you were saying, I want to hand it to an uncle. I've been trying to talk Boom, shout out to the great Boomstick, into getting like a mini PC because he wants to dip his toes in the water. But this is debilitatingly expensive. You know what I mean? And until we find an aggressive, like someone who can subsidize or find some way of bringing costs down, unfortunately, I don't think this is going to get us anywhere. Now, to your point, John, as to them selling out, it's probably because they made 12 of these things because nobody buys them. They're way too expensive. You know what I'm saying?
12.
And that's the thing, Kay.
I'm the target audience. I'd be buying this all day, but it's just like either this or a 4090. Like, get out of here.
You know what I immediately thought, like when I was doing research for this topic that we're talking about. The first thing that came to my mind, right, is I'm doing research on it. I'm seeing the reviews. Overall, decent, nothing groundbreaking or must buy. But one of the things that stood out to me was that the price, when I kind of was looking at this pricing, the first thing that came to my mind is, you know what will drive those prices down? Once Valve throws their hats in this race. Once they bring out a device that is for under the TV and they kind of standardize it, kind of like they did with the Steam Deck. I think this right here, exactly like the Nook box that you showed off, Kay, even that will drop in price because what's going to happen is that like I believe that we may see the same thing like we saw with the Steam Deck, where Valve is going to push this forward to a way that manufacturers, they're going to follow because they kind of set the standard there. And I kind of hope that they do because this is a great idea. This right here, like my idea when the ROG Ally 1.0 came out, and Kay, we talked about it on the show and we've talked about it to nauseum for the last year. I wanted a grown man Switch setup. So what I did was I bought the ROG Ally 1.0. I also bought the eGPU and I would dock it to my TV because I wanted a PC experience.
And
in my
all the while I was telling this man, don't do it.
Yeah, he was.
Don't do it.
He was.
Resisted. I remember him and Everborn war on that one.
Hey, but I got a good use out of it for a year. Now it's time to upgrade to the ROG Ally
Switch
X coming up.
Now, Cog had seen this in real life. This is the grown man Switch.
It was amazing when you showed us at the crew.
Just saying.
Yeah, very impressed.
Hey, CCP, we mess around, but they do some good stuff. Okay, like seriously. So guys.
No, hold on. Let me take them not issue, but let me push back on one part of what you're saying.
Sure.
Right? I agree with you that it will take a Valve to standardize this. Yeah. But one thing you must understand is, we'll give them slander because it's really expensive, but this is solid 1440p performance, right? Yeah. And how they're doing that is they're taking high-end mobile processors, mobile chips. So in other words, where you'd get a 4070 that has 16 gigs of VRAM, this 4070 will have 8 gigs of VRAM. It's cut down to do less heat consumption in order to fit it all in a small package, but it's still top tier spec. In order for Valve to do something like this, they'd have to roll a custom chip like they did with the deck, right? And it will not be as performant as this guy. Their key is to give that sweet spot where everyone can play. You're not playing Cyberpunk at 1440p resolution on a deck on their equivalent, because that's not cost effective for them, right? They can't bring $2,000 down to 500. They can bring $700-800 down to 500. But this is still $2,000 for a reason, right? So I agree with you that most likely Valve will come to the floor at some point with something interesting, but don't expect these specs when they do. It'll be good enough, and that's what they want.
I see an interesting comment here that is from Survey, and this goes into the whole CEG thing, right? And that's PCs want to be consoles now. It's kind of the energy that this is screaming out, right? Because it's the form factor. It's like Asus is dying just for console gamers probably to hey, this thing is screaming, pay attention to us, right? Now the thing is that, to be fair though, they've always made this, just like big picture mode has always existed. Y'all just weren't paying attention. Right. There are devices in 2012 that look exactly like this, but
that you are aware of, sir. That you are definitely aware of, and you are very keen. But you have to, we have to remember the intimidation factor for the casual of learning a lot of this stuff that you are very privy to. And I think that we have to be honest, from a aesthetically standpoint, what they're doing would appeal someone that says, okay, this looks very sleek and cool that I can put underneath the thing. So, but I get what you're saying. You're absolutely right, Kay. All this stuff existed.
The plus on this, is it seems like because a lot of the console gamers are now, I call consoles floaties. A lot of console gamers are now taking the floaties off and want to swim in the deeper waters, right? They're starting to see what calm and I give him smoke, but it's all love. Just like Everborn is now all about. Hey, calm down, you. just like Everborn is now all about a big picture mode, right? One of the first shows I was talking about, bro, big picture mode could be your console. And in the beginning there was slander, and now he's all about.
I love it.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Man.
It is welcome.
Interface is amazing.
Listen, we got another great comment here that I'm gonna use as part of this discussion, and it comes from the great Hargeet. Okay, Hargeet says, and consoles want to be PCs now. This is where things are going. It's incredible because technically. It is true. When you take a look at the rumors of the next Xbox having Steam integration, all that, it's incredible how this synergy is.
The lines are blurring.
The lines are 100% where we hope, right? Or at least, what Xbox has been kind of shepherding us towards is, hey, listen, we just want games to be games, kind of like that Nintendo mentality. Games are just games. Don't worry about specs. Don't worry about this. Don't worry about that, right? And the thing is that if you really think about it, a device like this, if priced appropriately, I think it could make some type of headway, not in a way that it's going to overtake. I'd be happy, bro. I'd be happy because then I can basically build one of these, put big picture mode, and then hand it to Boom and go, here's your console.
There you go.
Enjoy yourself.
Absolutely.
And he'll be set. This is what I'm looking for. It's just that price point. As soon as it gets to somewhat manageable, it's gold. That's what we got to show it again, because it makes you cry. All right, no one's cutting onions in here, right? No, it's making me cry. Okay, because this price is, man, I'm telling you, even I, like when I saw this price, and I'm pay pig number one, Cog. I am pay pig number one. You show me something shiny and new, and
new shiny, new hotness. You already know. I see.
Listen, this is the way that I watch all my game shows and all my announcements, with my wallet in hand. Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to drop it. Okay, if you got it like that, you do that, bro. Don't let them stop. Don't let them shame you. No. Don't get this twisted. I'm being called Ryan Seacrest, by the way, in the chat. Don't get it twisted, okay? It's not that it's not that I have it. It's that I'm a fool. All right, and I always fall for
the new hotness. Yeah. Whatever the new integral step is, whatever that upgrade, I got
all the time. Okay, and you show me a new Xbox, and you tell me this thing's gonna be 8K 60. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna fall for it.
You see, and that's why I'm here going, brother. Calm down. Let's read the white papers. Let's not listen to what they're saying.
Let's see what the difference is. Let's get past the marketing.
Let me enjoy my disappointment. Come on. Okay, so yeah, guys. So unless you guys got something else to say about it, I think it's a good idea. I think Asus, again, tipping their toes, trying to kind of persuade console gamers, but that pricing, it's not aligning with what I believe is success. But then again, I say that, and it's out of stock, and I'm like shocked here, and I'm like, what, really?
Yep.
Okay, you know,
there are
I
a few
guess,
in the market that play here as well. They're not as big as Asus is, but there are a few that play in the market here. I mean, for those who are serious, if you really wanted to find something of this caliber and put it under your TV and really like take it seriously, I'd say get a good budget, about $700-800, and you'll get something that'll be 1080p, upscalable, and you'll still be able to get a really good gaming experience. These guys obviously are throwing a lot of hardware at it. They're throwing machining at it. They're keeping it thin and light, you know,
100%.
and because of that, this is Asus. They're getting a markup. You know, it is what it is. Yeah.
And Damien D, just real fast to summarize for you, the ROG Nuke comes in, as you can see, 2 different SKUs. It's basically, think about it like this, and Kay and Cog, chime in if I'm wrong here. It's basically they took a laptop and they made it into the form factor of making it look like a console, so that you can put it on your TV next to your Xbox and pretend that it's a console.
Yep.
You know, that's basically
exactly
what this is. So before we move on to the next topic,
there are a few super chats I think you want to catch up on.
Yep, we did have a
slander out of the way.
Yeah, man, it's coming. It's coming, and this is coming. And by the way, this slander right now is coming from someone that is the Switch is their preferred place to play, but I'm gonna leave that right there. All right. We got MJ Dark $4.99. Thank you so much, brother, man. We love that you're here all the time, MJ, and we talk on a daily basis, man. So you know how I really feel about you.
That's my guy.
Shout out to the new member of the Rogoons, Lord Rognito.
Yes, that's cool.
John, the Rogex is just BBL Drizzy upgrade. That means an A minor. ROG is not like a CCP. Come on, man.
You cannot hit us with the Kendrick bars with the ROG, bro. You can't be doing that, man. You can't hit us with the A minor. Oh, man.
First of all, I'm not hip enough to know what none of that means.
Calm down,
bro.
It sounds bad.
Right
it sounds
there.
bad.
Those are deep cuts. Very deep cuts.
It sounds bad. All right. Okay, you want to get the next one, or you want me to get it?
Absolutely. I could get the next one.
Sure.
Next one from the great slanderous one himself. Mr. Slow-Mo Backslap with a $2 super chat. What's going on, brother? He says the first descent is getting numbers.
Yeah.
With the eyeball emoji.
And
I will be honest, I was playing that about 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, how you like it? How you guys like it? I haven't gotten a chance to touch it yet.
So since I'm speaking to Lord Destiny himself, it ain't Destiny 2, bro.
Ooh, that's all like a case closed, Slow-Mo. Case closed. I was just
look, it's fun. It's third person. It's playable. They have some interesting ideas. They have interesting ideas, right? Like you can join other missions with others while they're in it. It brings the idea of squatting up real easy, even with randos. It's really, they have some interesting ideas, but the story is Destiny 2 light.
Yeah, I heard the story.
And the combat needs a little bit more. I mean, come on, like say what you will about Destiny. Some people love it, some people hate it, but Destiny combat is Halo combat, and that is beyond reproach. So
listen, this is all I'm gonna say.
Thank you, sir.
I haven't played it yet. As soon as I saw that bunny costume, this came out.
All
right?
right?
And I was
already out.
And then Trails in the Sky, okay, which MJ Dark got me on. Great JRPG series, okay, the Trail series. I haven't stopped playing that thing. All right, and I've been wanting to play the first Descendant. It's just, and not even the eye candy has taken me away from the
and
Trail.
It's free to play. First Descent. It's free to play.
In fairness, like they're just getting out. They're just getting started. There's that growth.
Get better.
From a foundational standpoint, from where they are right now, it's pretty impressive. Let's just see where they go. My only slanderous thing back to Slow-Mo is I don't know if he saw they're doing a lot of copying of iconography, and they have been caught with their hand copying homework. So they just need to start working on original ideas now as they move forward.
Even one of their characters is literally a rip from a Destiny 2.
Hey, don't they say that impersonation is the greatest compliment or something like that? Am I saying that wrong?
If you go true,
no, you're good. You're good.
Listen, Latino heat here. I don't know how to. My English not too good. Okay, so
no, you good. You're good.
You're good.
Okay, and we got the great Pixelbit G, Mr. The Gray Beards himself. Okay, we got $2. Thank you so much, man. Thanks for contributing to our show and watching. We calling it the Nook if you buck. Cheers, y'all. Hey, listen, I'm not hip at all, but I know what that means. Okay,
that's classic. Shout out to Pixelbit.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. So, do we have anything else? I don't think so.
Nope,
right?
that's it. We can keep moving. Yes.
All right, man. Let's keep it moving. Then on the next topic, right? So, how about this, huh? For some CEG talk. How about console saved AMD? I don't know if you gentlemen saw this, but somebody identified on a LinkedIn from an individual posting on his resume how he mentioned somewhere that he worked on a team where the AMD chips kind of saved the PS4 and the PS4 generation with the Xbox One and the PS4 kind of saved AMD as a company from just going bankrupt. And I'm assuming because how well the PS4 sold. Xbox One, it sold decent, but not as good as its predecessor, the 360. But still, it's still on par, right? So what do we think about this? I'll start with you this time, Kay. What more do you know about this whole console saving AMD as a company, where they stand now? And let me give you a little bit more meat on this bone. Pause. Okay, that sounds a little weird, but let me let me ask you this, right? AMD, where Diddy,
as they say,
where they stand now as a company, that we know that they're manufacturing on the handheld PC market and all that good stuff. Where do you think that do you think that they're going to keep on the console space? Do you think that they're going to just move on from there? Give me your thoughts on AMD as a whole. Like, were they saved? Where are they? And where are they going?
Yeah. So to be honest with you, like it is true. They were saved by PlayStation. And I remember this because we lived through this. Like at the time I was rolling AMD machines myself. Like at that time, nobody was looking at them, right? It was Intel or nothing. Intel inside. It was Pentium Pluses and Pentium everything, right? And actually it is the same story as Xbox, if you will, right? When you're behind, you have to innovate. And it took them a long time, but they innovated. Like I hated the Jaguar cores because they were reductive, right? They went from PS3, which frankly had a very powerful processor, and then they downgraded to Jaguar laptop cores, right? Which even at the time they came out were last gen, right? So people were giving them a lot of smoke, but say what you will, they saved that company because people bought that in droves. They were in a lot of consoles. Now, obviously the PS4 sold way more than the Xbox did, and true. But if the PS4 only had the Jaguar core, and say the Xbox went back to PowerPC, guess what? AMD wouldn't have had as much benefit because the 50 million units of Xbox, we'll say, that sold were also Jaguar cores. Right. So it's the combination of both platforms using the same chip that kind of propelled them out of the slump that they were in, right? So yes, 100%, they were saved by the console. Now, as to what they're doing now, I think they're diversifying the portfolio. Like I appreciate what they're doing. We always joke, but like people talk about, oh, well, the CCP or the ROGL, like guess what? They all have the same chip in it, and they are AMD chips, including the goat of all goats, which is the Steam Deck. Guess what it's got in it? An AMD chip. They are running away with this mobile SoC market right now, right? And lucky for them, NVIDIA's making this AI billions, so they're like, we don't care right now. And by the time they look over, possibly the AI generation, like not fizzles, but stabilizes, and maybe NVIDIA wants to diversify, possibly AMD will already own this market because they own all local handhelds right now. Like, it doesn't matter what you buy, you're buying an AMD in whatever clothing that they decide to give you a flavor of Asus or whichever company you go with, right? So that's right. My hope is that they take this part, and by they, I mean AMD, I hope they take this seriously, because even in this world, they've been kind of moving and shaking in odd ways a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like they've been moving and shaking in odd ways in that they're still, their driver arm isn't as robust. That we still hear some incompatibilities from time to time. They own this market just by the very nature that their direct competitor isn't competing in that place, in that space. So they need to diversify and work harder to sew it up before others jump into the water. Yes, I see you, Hargeet. Yes, NVIDIA does work with the one and only handheld that seems to rule the roost, which is the Nintendo Switch.
No,
but even in that space,
come on, don't change the name.
Yeah, the Abacus, that's what we call it on here.
Oh, damn.
Even in that space, the chip came out 8 years ago, and the year it came out, it was old, right? Remember, Nintendo plays a different game. They're not trying to give you the speeds and feeds. They're trying to give you, hey, don't pay attention to this old crap as far as hardware. Pay attention to our amazing developers that make this thing run amazingly on all these amazing games.
Bro. Magicians.
That is why I call them the advocates, because they have tied their amazing wizards down to potatoes, and still they make magic with that thing. You know what I mean? So
it's hard to say that we're wrong though as a business to make that call, because I mean it's worked out pretty good.
It's what's working for them, right?
Yeah,
and that's the reason. If we lived in a world where PlayStation and Xbox did exactly the same thing as Nintendo, maybe everybody still has exclusives. But we don't live in that world, right? Seriously, because if you don't have to spend so much to put so much whiz bang on the screen, if Senua's skin doesn't have to glisten in the moonlight as much, right? Maybe you don't have to diversify your portfolio by putting your games everywhere.
That's true. If Aloy didn't put you to sleep of how realistic and boring her face is.
Y'all out here with the shots early.
I'm sorry, man. So
they call him NyQuil. That's what they call. I have 300 hours in that game. They call it NyQuil.
I don't know how you can do it, sir. You were in the sleep chamber like Master Chief.
My daughter and I love Horizon Forbidden West. Okay, calm down. She loves taking down the huge turtles. Okay, calm down.
Hey, man. Listen, I like to watch paint dry sometimes. So Cog, let me ask you this, man. So we kind of saw Kate tackle this kind of like from a high level AMD and kind of like how they put their fingerprints all over the PS4, Xbox One generation. This is again with this generation, me jumping into PC. Here comes kind of like the novice, right? I had no idea what Jaguar cords were, who made them, why they were being made, why they're being put on these consoles, right? So now that we've matured, kind of, especially anyone listening to the show, we've kind of matured in our expertise of these things. Do you see AMD staying in the console game as long as possible? Because like from what I see, where I'm sitting at, right, Nvidia has such a foothold on the GPU market and now on AI and stuff like that. I would think that AMD is begging Xbox and PlayStation, please keep us around, like use our stuff, because what are they going to do if NVIDIA all of a sudden just they decide to go NVIDIA's way too? It's not going to be good for them. So what's your
relationship change too? Yeah, we see relationships, starting to get butter up that we didn't see before. No, great point. I think that, Kay nailed a lot of the points I was going to say in the sense of, AMD, from what we understand, them being in a really dire financial situation and coming around the time during the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 generation and seeing that synergy to be able to be the default chipset for these guys. And let's be honest, a lot of us console gamers learning about what Jaguar cores are and not getting the performance. And I think that's what kind of opened up the console market to say, wait a minute, how come I can't get 60 frames, anymore with this? Like it was, I'll be honest, in the PS4, the Xbox One era. And then obviously we got the Scorpio, Xbox One X and all that stuff as a result. And AMD has kind of had their foothold on it. And it's been a synergistic relationship. Let's be honest, it's very, very beneficial, very for them. So what I even look at is, like you said, okay, with the handheld market, if you're getting a handheld, you're getting that AMD, that Z1 Extreme same chip in everything. Like that is kind of the
well.
Here we go. Asterisk.
Well,
but
I must hold on. Let me put my glasses on. Well, I must be clear, sir. Actually, what you're getting is a 7840U that is cut down, and to fool the emotional gamers, they call it extreme. That's what they're doing to you.
We want to feel special, man. Come on, leave us alone, okay?
But to your point, prior to that generation, right? It was always Intel, like that's what you heard about, and so on and so forth. But to your question, John, look, it's going to be critical for them because there's so many factors on where next generation is going to go, especially with, the integration of these, these AI chipsets and things of that nature, the integration of Xbox thinking about potential, mobile. You hear rumblings of ARM. You hear the NVIDIA relationship improving. We're seeing GeForce now. We're seeing things get much more cozier. So I think they may be a little nervous as to what direction, the next generation does go, especially if the rumors are to be true of a 2026 potential jump out for a specific platform. We did see some leaked documents. Now Microsoft did at this point say, oh, those are older plans, things have changed, but you never know, right? You never know. So I think it's going to be critical for them to try to maintain those relationships, because if they do switch, they may be left out in the cold there. But I want to shout out I believe her name Lisa Su, during her
Dr. Sue, Dr. Sue,
like they have really had a resurgence. And
I agree.
Really led them the right way. AMD is almost like the de facto now when you hear the consoles. But yeah, this is a great article. I love that you brought this up because to the initial point, they owe the PlayStation 4. Those consoles sold, and then to case point, the Xbox One wasn't no slouch. It still was, whatever the 50 million, whatever the numbers they ended up behind PS4. But
every number counts.
Exactly. As a totality, those are AMD chipsets,
right?
And that is a beneficial thing to them. So yeah, we got to see how this thing's gonna go, man. But
great. And just I'll chime in just a little bit on my thoughts. I just think that it's incredible, right? Because when we kind of see the landscape of gaming where it is today, we can't forget that ARM is kind of in the mix here also. So we see the Strix and all this stuff coming out, and a shout out to everyone who got himself a Copilot laptop the other day. He talked about it on GCP, and I was listening to him. Battery life is phenomenal on this thing. It just looks like it's just from all the reviews and all the information I've seen, it looks like it's lacking a little bit on the GPU side, which if they can figure this out, okay, that's going to be yet another challenger breathing down the neck of AMD. So I'm very interested to see. If I really knew what was going on behind the scenes, I would assume that AMD probably gives Microsoft and PlayStation and they even offered a Nintendo probably the best price that they could possibly get 100%. Because they're trying to lock it down.
Absolutely.
So I think that what will happen, right, is that if the rumors are true, which we have no indication of knowing that they are, this is just me speculating. If the rumors are true, one of them out there, that Xbox decides to go ARM with their handheld, that can be the defining, that can maybe lead Sony to look at ARM and say, wait a minute, we may want to also shift because it looks like, the what's going to happen over there. Is it more efficient? Is it cheaper? Is it, all these questions that arise with these things, right? So I think I do agree with what you said, Cog, that AMD, I think that they've done really good work, at least since I've been in this space of paying attention to them. Have they done enough to get my dollars and to make it my daily driver on my PC build, that I want to have the full ray tracing experience and all that? No, but then again, they have gotten a lot of my money on the handheld space because I love these PC handhelds. So, Kay, you wanted to say something?
I will hedge all these bets by saying one last thing.
Go ahead.
They don't make ARM chips now, but it doesn't mean they can't make ARM chips tomorrow.
Good point.
Right now, they make x86 architecture because that's what the consumer base wants.
Yeah.
ARM is not only a company; it's also an architecture that can be licensed, right? So, and AMD has said before, I think I've heard them say before, if consumers are looking for ARM-based chips, they can start making ARM-based chips. So much so that they've even started integrating some of the NPU technology into their x86 stack, right? So, if and when the ball is heading that way, maybe they diversify the portfolio and you start seeing more coming in that way. Even Intel is diversifying in that way currently with ARM. So it's an interesting time to see. We will see where that falls. I'm still like not thinking. I still don't think that x86 is on its way out. I know some people definitely think
it's too dominant, right? It's too dominant.
Exactly. It is literally in the bedrock of all things, in the bedrock of enterprise, in the bedrock, like an enterprise does everything in x86 land. Like it's in the bedrock, except for obviously AI that's now going the ARM route. But yes, it's so fundamental that I don't think we're going to see x86 go by the way of ARM, but maybe in the consumer space, possibly soon. We shall see.
What I've seen, and this is the last thing we'll say when we move on. What I've seen from the ARM space, especially with my emulation devices, like the AYN Odin 2, fantastic for emulation, but you're playing older gen games. When you try to play something as robust as Starfield, let's say, it's not there, and it's not possible. So the problem is that that's kind of like the challenges that I think we're a handful of years from that being a possibility. And instead, what we're seeing the focus of these PC handheld manufacturers and AMD as a chipset, they're trying to become more efficient, and that's the thing with x86 architecture. That's at least where I think that they're at right now. So, gentlemen, let's move on to our final topic, and then Cog will give you plenty of time, man, to talk. I call this peel them stickers. Okay, the FTC is finally making it, or trying to at least make it possible, so that when you get a device, like let's say your ROG Ally X on July 22nd, pre-order now. You
he is spending them bucks, bro. What are we doing right now?
Got that Republican game.
There are no ads on the show. There are no ads. If he's getting paid, I don't know how he's getting paid.
I like what you're doing, Cancer. Y'all got that bag. I like that Republican playground.
Let me tell you, okay, the ROG playground. All right, so
ROG playground. Continue, sir.
My problem, Cog. He picks up the pom poms for free. Where's the check, bro? What are we doing?
You like King like all last night. Where the check at, bro? We ain't saying that.
Hey, listen, this is all I'm saying, okay? You got to start somewhere. So
you speaking it into existence. Do your thing.
The FTC, the FTC's fighting for us consumers here, okay? And what they're basically saying is, listen, if all these manufacturers that they like to play that little game, okay, which I understand is a business that they're going to do. They're going to try to protect themselves and their assets and make sure that nobody's messing around with the inside of the device and then want to return it and get something new or whatever the case may be. But at the same time, it is so ridiculous to me that you buy a device, let's say the ROG Ally X for $800, right, when it comes out. And it has a little sticker on the back with the screw that you need to get to if you want to put an SSD, a bigger SSD, and you have voided the warranty. I'm not saying that the ROG Ally X has that, but devices in the past have had that. Well, the FTC, according to this article, and it's linked, and it's going to be linked in the description for you guys. They've sent over basically warnings to 8 different companies saying, you guys got to cut this out because it's ridiculous. And I 100% agree with it because, again, I'm a tinkerer, right? Like, I'm a tinkerer at heart, and I like to try to fix something if it's broken before I go and I buy a new one. That's first of all. Or secondly, I want to upgrade my stuff sometimes, right? Or you want to mod it, or you want to do what you can with it. And I understand that there's a fine line there, right? And Cog, I'll start with you. I don't know if you've ever ran into an issue. Forget about video game stuff. Let's just think about your cable box, your modem, anything else that you have bought where you try to do something and they tell you, oh, you voided your warranty because of a sticker. A sticker? Are you kidding me right now? So, Cog, what do you think about this? I don't know if you had a chance to read it. Do you think this is a good thing? Do you think that this is going to go nowhere? What do you think, brother?
You know, I like the spirit of it. I'll be honest. You know, for a person like me, and obviously we talked to Ally earlier, you know, I was the one to perform, you know, one of the surgeries on my Ally when I first got it. Like, I got that thing. I wanted additional storage. The 512 I did not feel was sufficient, especially with the type of games I'd be downloading for native Game Pass. Now, in their case, you know, they didn't have that, you know, barrier, so to speak. When I got to the SSD, you know, you unplug the screws and everything, and I was able to, you know, remove that thing, no problem. But, you know, Kay knows we're from the day of you used to seeing that sticker, and it was a very bold warning. If you do this, you void warranty. And I think we
from the days of the hot glue, the hot heater, to try to peel it off a little bit so you can get at what you need to, and then stick it back on it.
Yeah, you out there with the screwdriver, bro. You know what it is.
Right.
You making sure you're grounded. You got your wrist strap.
What about the SNES little sticker with Mario with a screwdriver running around? You know what I'm saying? It's like, and it told you, if you open this, you're done, son. You're done. And I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah, and it would put the fear in you that, you know, okay, you're at risk at this point. If anything goes wrong at this point, there's no manufacturer warranty anymore. You are on your own. So I like the idea of it because, again, what we consider it like the spirit of self-repair and things of that nature. And let's be honest, a lot of times it's, you know, people wanting to mess with their proprietary things and, you know, deal with them specifically kind of thing. So I like it. And then, you know, from a waste standpoint, you know, sometimes people don't have that technical savvy to be able to do this thing. So in their mind, it's a dead product or whatever it is that they can't repair. The thing gets thrown out. So I do like the spirit of it. I'm curious to see how far it goes, you know, as far as the actual passing and the enforcement of it. But yeah, for the tinkerers, for the tech guys, like, we love this stuff. You know, I would think so. I'm very curious to know where you guys stand on it, because like I said, now as someone I've been doing it a little bit more frequently lately, you know, I do like the idea of it.
Yeah. So okay, I'm gonna pass the ball to you now. Tell me what you think about this, but from like a different perspective, because I know you, man, and I know you have probably opened up every piece of hardware you have ever owned, okay, at one time, or at least been tempted to, right? And then I don't know if you remember this, but early on, okay, because I suffered from this, and I'll never forget this, and it's like it's caused trauma, okay. So when Halo 3 was launching, I got the red ring of death the same week that it was launching. I was devastated. I was devastated, right? And I was desperate, sorting through all the forums, trying to find the fix. I tried the towel trick, which no weird towel stuff, okay? but if you were around that day, you know what I'm talking about, okay? And I ain't talking about plug the towel or anything like that, okay? But then I tried that, didn't work. It got to the point where I was like, you know what? I'm going to open this thing and try to figure it out. I remember that sticker, man, on the back. And it literally said, you will void your warranty if you open this, right? And I said, I don't care. I'm still going to do it. And I opened it up. Thankfully for me, first of all, I couldn't fix it. Thankfully for me, I had a buddy at GameStop that worked at GameStop. And he, let's just say, didn't see that the sticker was peeled, and he accepted the trade-in.
The statute of limitations better be over on you, man.
Good, right? No, it's good. It's good.
Peter Border told me we got the bag for that. It was
listen,
it's all good. You're good.
And I upgraded. I got a new 360 and everything, and I was perfectly fine. That one got a red ring like 2 years later, but that's a different story. But okay, my point in the story, right, is that. Have you ever been in a situation where you have voided a warranty? And the reason I ask, you must, because how many things have you opened up, man? I can imagine, like, you probably opened up your calculator in high school.
So okay, if you watch my airing on the greatest podcast ever, the Iron Lords podcast, you will know that my gaming my career as tech started with the OG Xbox One. Right. Ooh. And for a time, educationally, I would crack that thing open and do some things with that thing.
Thanks with it.
And at that time, I was not as well off, we'll just say, as I am today. So there have been many mishaps where you open that thing up, you touch the wrong slot, and there goes $300 flying out of the window. And you're just like, that happened to me at least twice. Now, the thing that really, like what you're talking about, like what you had to void your warranty that stressed you out. So I had a MacBook Pro some time ago, right? And it was my first real Mac at the time. I was part of the Apple zombies. Oh my God. So I bought a MacBook Pro, unibody design, the whole thing. And then sometime later, I accidentally spilled water on it, on the keyboard. Yes. Thanks. And just for them to open it to tell me what the problem was, that I was already telling them what the problem
about the hustle
was going to cost at least $300, and then they would then repair it for me at however the cost is. Now, this was like I had to do some surgery. I did surgery on this thing. Oh my God, this is the height of my powers. I don't think I'll ever recreate this situation again. There's a website called iFixit where they have parts and also literal instructions on how to do repairs. This was considered intermediate to difficult. It took me 7 hours and like thousands of teeny tiny MacBook Pro pieces all over my desk. But I literally, because the keyboard is a unibody design, it's attached to the entire laptop. So I had to crack that thing open, pieces everywhere, put it back together again, repaired my Mac. And then later I sold it for a damn good price and nobody ever knew.
Oh wow. You sold someone a wet one, literally.
Yes. No, it actually was working. But that was the best, that was the most, like I like my grade started that day.
Oh wow.
I can imagine. It was bro. But yes. So that's what that is. Now about this story.
Yeah.
I equate this story and on this show we also like to do pro tips. I'll kind of add a pro tip here as well. I equate this story to who I call, and those in the chat who are PC heads know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the Gamers Jesus is what we call him. Gamers Jesus, Steve from Gamers Nexus, the man who has taken his company. If you don't know who Gamers Nexus is, look it up, put it in Google, put it into YouTube. Gamers Nexus. They're out there doing the Lord's work, as it were.
That's true.
Always keeping boot to neck on these companies who are not in your best interest.
They're Chaos Sante approved. Let's just put it.
Their latest victim was Asus. Actually, no, it was Zotac after that.
Yeah, they're coming for Zotac next.
Yes.
Yeah, rightfully so.
But basically, yes, they go out and they do the Lord's work. They hunt the people down. And I don't mean that like physically. They actually spend time doing the research, finding all the ill deeds, talking to the large community of the wrongdoing happening behind the scenes, and they shed a light on it. They've done so with Asus's bad warranty practices. They're now doing that with Zotac. I believe that his voice, and he's even said it on his show many times, that he speaks to a lot of advocates and a lot of advocacy groups and watchdog groups, including people at the FTC. So I am telling you, even though it may not be directly related, Tech Jesus has somewhat to do with an eye being shown in these areas, and I'm thankful for it. I will say, I'm in the bag for Tech Steve. These are their stuff. I buy their stuff. I love that channel. I believe they are like the Iron Lords. They are necessary in this environment to keep people, on the straight and narrow, and that these tech, because a lot of the times people don't have that power to be able to make any of that real change. Like on July 22nd, when the man gets his ROG Ally X and it doesn't work, he's gonna be sitting there crying like an emotional gamer. But it's fine.
Can you believe that this man is going against me in the Silicon Lottery, and he wishes that
I just want to see you cry.
Failure rate.
Are you
I wish
this thing's gonna have?
At this point, I just want to see the man cry on Front Street. That's what I want.
Me, man.
He wishing pain on you, brother. He wishing pain on you.
Tell me how you really feel. Tell me how you really feel.
No. Absolutely not. I'm just joking. But in general, this is a great. I'm not. I definitely am. In general, like, this is a great look, and I think that we shouldn't all have to be technologists to understand the ins and outs of all of these intricacies, but it's good to have some of these watchdog groups paying attention and seeing that these things are not acceptable. And this is table stakes. There are so many avenues, so many like other egregious things that if you use tech like I do, it's just par for the course. I've said this when this whole ROG thing started, this whole Asus conversation started. I said this to John some time ago. I'm standing here looking at basically 3 of the same identical motherboards because I bought a warranty on my PC, right? When I got it, it's all together. And then Asus, in their infinite wisdom, decided to release a firmware that would brick the motherboard, right? And the first time I thought, oh yeah, I just lost the Silicon Lottery, no big deal. And then they replaced it with the same motherboard, which no problem. Second one, also burnt out. Third one, also, all because they released the same firmware.
This man wants me to go through his pain. Why are you wishing that upon me, man?
I want you to put the pom-poms down because some of them don't deserve it. That's all I'm saying.
I'm hyped.
But anyway, these are the things.
Take my joy away.
These are the things that you don't have any ability to do anything about except to go, oh yeah, I'm not buying from them anymore. And then Gigabyte gets you, and then Zotac gets you, and then that's the point, right? So these things are very necessary, and all I hope is that we see more in this run.
Yeah, I agree.
The stickers are low-hanging fruit. What is your firmware doing? If your firmware is not doing what it's supposed to be doing, and it's bricking devices to force people to upgrade, that's a problem. And unfortunately for us, our governmental bodies tend to be older than us, so they don't know what these things actually do. But as more eyes are shown in this direction, maybe it gives them more visibility into saying, hey man, this isn't right. So I think this is amazing. This is great.
I agree with mostly what you said, except for the ROG slander. But okay, the thing that I will say is, I think you're 100% right when you say, like, for example, I can collaborate your story with a Best Buy tech told me while I was choosing my parts for my upgrade that I did recently on my PC. Do not get an Asus motherboard. These things are being returned like crazy. That came from someone at Best Buy. Now, that's anecdotal. That's that store. I don't know. But collaborating with what Escante is saying, that's too. You know what I'm saying? So that 100%.
Yo, he's stupid.
hey, listen.
That was ill right there.
Listen, I'll put it to you like this. If the ROG Ally X comes out and this thing has a faulty
we'll understand. We'll be there.
Hey, we're gonna deserve the slander. I'm gonna deserve.
We'll deserve the smoke at that point.
100%. So
look, but let me be clear. Let me be clear, John Wolf, real quick. Let me be clear. I'm not hating that you bought it. I'm not hating. I'm not hating that you bought it. I'm hating that you grab the pom-poms and you tattoo their name on your back. Like, calm down. It's not that bad.
Listen. Just because on a daily basis I remind you all that the handheld of the year is coming out. Don't get mad at me.
You see? Look at this.
I'm hyped for it. And you know what? So far from the previews I've seen, I think many people are going to agree with me. So
I hope so. Honestly, I hope they do right by it because it moves the handheld gaming world forward. Right. So I really do hope that it works out that way.
Right. Yeah. So what I will say, and we'll close up this topic, is that let me tell you one more horror story that I had with the whole warranty sticker thing. So I told you guys when we started how I got lucky with 360, right? I got a buddy, but that worked out for me. Then I decided, you know what? Because you know how us gamers are. If you understand what I'm about to say right now, you belong in the gamers playground. All right. I wanted to switch the casing on my Wii because I didn't like that boring white casing. I wanted to switch it to shiny black so that it went with my entertainment center, looked all nice and dandy. And I'm still a nerd that way, right? So check this out. So I'm like, this is gonna be easy. It's just a case swap, no big deal. Voided the warranty, right? As soon as I peeled that sticker, that thing was a disaster. That thing was like a Decepticon like on drugs. It didn't know how to put itself back together. Okay, and it's mostly my fault. All right, because I didn't know what I was doing. So I go back to GameStop and I'm like, hey buddy, you remember me? I don't know you, man. This ain't gonna fly now. So I've been bit before. And I've been bit in other areas too, because I tried to fix a modem once, and Xfinity or Comcast or whoever they were back then. They've changed names more times than your average wrestler, okay? And the thing is that I've been bit so many times. So I'm gonna ask you guys this, and we'll close it out. Cog, I'll start with you. What have you ever tried to mod or open? It could be a controller. It could be anything. A cartridge that wasn't working, a console in your gaming life. Okay, but you're like us. You started young.
Yeah.
Has anything ever gone wrong for you off the top of your head?
Off the
I know I'm putting you on the spot.
But that's a good one. I never. The only time this is way back. I'm dating myself. Atari Lynx.
I remember the Lynx. Okay.
When they had the initial model, which is very elongated, rectangle. And before they had the newer model, which is more compact, more slicker, which I did eventually buy and upgrade. I remember having some issues with the buttons. And I was just like, all right, this is driving me crazy. And this is young Cog. I ain't had that money to go out there and run out.
I know.
And people tell me, Cog, it's a simple fix. It's a simple fix. All you got to do is open up, loosen it here, and da-da-da-da. So that was the first one. The second one, this is, King will remember this, the Panasonic 3DO.
Wow.
Amazing console for its time, $700. But you got arcade perfect ports of like Street Fighter 2 and
Holy Grail.
Grail.
I remember seeing the commercial, Cog, and I would look back at my mom and she would say, "Don't even think about it."
Don't even think about it. Exactly. And I remember at the time, we were big Madden guys, and they had like a 3D Madden that was just completely different from anything on Genesis and Super Nintendo. But the problem with the 3DO, if people had that console, is the controllers for fighting games was horrible. Horrible. Yes. The D-pad. Yes. So the techie world knew it was just the way it was done. You just had to open up and loosen it, right? And go into the D-pad and kind of like unscrew the controller, get into the innards, and then kind of loosen this thing up. And then you get your fireball motions out. You get your, all the things you kind of needed. So that was kind of like my other earlier days into kind of like messing around and tinkering and for the benefit of gaming kind of thing. So yeah, those probably two with the Atari Lynx and 3DO. Those are probably my two.
How about you, Kay? Anything that you've done that has gone horribly wrong for you? Make me feel better here, man. Am I the only one that's broken stuff?
Like I said, I've broken there was a time where your man had to supplement some income on eBay, right? and he would do a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and then all of a sudden you get your really big honking freaking set-top box before those things existed. And I have broken many a device on the path to greatness. Now, what I will share is my OG.
Oh wow,
this is my OG.
That's clean, bro.
That was my
That's
first.
clean.
This was my first, and it's white because I painted it that way.
That's
The diamond, the diamond is different because I put the diamond in there. And yes, there's the chip right there. Like, it's old now, but I've broken many to get. And this is basically what started my console. This is what started.
That's nice.
So it's still here and it's still there, but I'd say it cost me about a couple grand getting here in all the broken things I got to get to this. So yes, I have destroyed a bunch of stuff
there. So that's incredible, guys. And I remember one time, the last day, right? I was trying to mod a 360 controller because I had seen online that somebody was putting bullet buttons and they were like back bullets. And I don't know if you guys see those lot of controllers that make it look all cool. And my boy, just to let anybody know that kiss of death trying to fix anything is when they say this is easy. Don't believe them. It's not, okay? It never ends up being easy. So guys, we'll end with that, and that's pretty much it.
We have one super chat before we move forward, real quick, because MJ Dark and his slander is prolific, so he had to come out with a $5 super chat real quick. Thank you, MJ, and he says Abacus, but you guys click on porn sites to get games. Switch is the best handheld and the only place to play exclusives like Lego Aloy. Gajima. Son of a...
We're not gonna touch that. We're not gonna touch that one. We'll let it be.
Thank you there, MJ. As Lord Sovereign likes to say, thank you for your
patronage. Thank you for your very, very slanderous.
So let's move on now. Cog, with the time we got left, we got 30 minutes left. Oh, hold on. We did that wrong. We got about 20 or 30 minutes left. Look, man, and somebody says my mic is breaking down faster than a ROG Ally. I don't know.
Well, you back now. Now you back. You back. Sound like you're back a little bit. It was a little breaking up a little bit.
Oh, okay, my bad. Okay, I guess my SD card reader's not working on this thing. Okay, so what I was gonna say is, we want to take the extra time and dedicate it to your journey in not only in the PC space but in the handheld PC space, because like I follow you obviously on Twitter just like Kay Asante does, and like many probably do in the chat or listening. And I noticed right away that you went and you covered the ROG Ally, which to my knowledge, and you correct me if I'm wrong, I want to speak for you, is when you kind of dipped your toe into the PC handheld. It's the one that got you, right? Yeah. And I know from watching the Iron Lords, I know that you guys have done great partnerships with many different companies, and one of them is a PC company that basically builds your PC for you and send it to your house ready to go, just plug and play, right? And my question to you, right, to start the conversation, and then Kay, you can chime in with whatever questions you have for Cog after he's done answering this first one. Give me, because I've heard, obviously, I've listened to so many episodes of the Iron Lords that I've gotten to know you guys and your and like kind of like your gaming history and stuff like that. But Cog, like me, is this your first generation where you're actually taking PC gaming seriously? Like that you can say maybe I don't know, I don't want to speak for you, maybe it has become your preferred platform this generation, or is that wrong? Am I wrong there?
That's a great question. You're close. No, basically for me, first of all, thank you for the shout out on the Ally thing. It was funny because and obviously the NZXT partnership, because on the first front, I remember seeing the advertisement for it and being able to cover it. I'm like, man, I've never really covered a PC or mobile, handheld. So it was kind of exciting, and I'm just like, and at the time, King was supposed to come with me on that one, but he couldn't make it. So it was even more intimidating because now I'm doing this all by myself. And I'm in the room with giants in the PC space. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to approach this different. I'm going to approach this from the casual perspective of a guy who's just jumping in there and wants to learn about this space. And I was pretty impressed. I was pretty impressed, especially, like I said, that we talked about the native, Game Pass, be able to download that, and some of the things that I think would appeal to a casual gamer looking to get into the space, because we all know the Steam Deck is amazing. We're not going to take anything away from the Steam Deck and the UI and the interface, but for us Windows guys, the guys who wanted more storefronts, we were like, man, this is exciting. And it seems like gaming might be going towards that future of maybe multiple storefronts on devices, but
especially Game Pass. Exactly. That was a big one.
So that was the first thing. Then to your second point, as far as NZXT, again, it was very surprising because, as the Lords for the most part talk outside of Sav, who's exclusively at this point primarily a PC gamer. We primarily talk about consoles. So to get approached by them and say, hey, you guys be yourself, be natural. We don't want anything extra. But we felt the relationship work because we started to see the synergy between PC gaming and console gaming, and console gamers being a bit frustrated, being a little upset. They're not getting the performance that they thought that they paid for, they were used to. Now, to your next question, for me, it's my flirtation started around 2017, I believe. And I got to thank Ibantis because, this is now the height of content creation. Iron Lords is starting to pick up a bit. We're doing the Last Word podcast, Destiny. Destiny now releases their PC version of the platform. Now, mind you, I'm ignorant. I'm on Xbox. I'm like, and then I'm saying to myself, Xbox One X. Bro, Scorpio's coming. All my problems with 60 frames is going to be alleviated. We're going to get that 4K, that HDR. And to my disappointment, that review and the frames were not bumped. I was remaining at 30. And Ibantis was like, hey, man, like, you need to check this out over here. And I'll be honest with you, Kay, I knew in my heart that if I booted that thing and I got it, it was going to be over for me with playing Destiny on console. I knew it, so I avoided him like the plague. So eventually what ends up happening is a couple months later, I'm like, look, I can't be doing Iron Lord podcast off a laptop. This is ridiculous. Like, you need to step up your setup. You need to get a rig. If you're going to take podcasting seriously, we need to do this correctly. So I'm looking in the ring, and my man, he's like, bro, I got you. We're going to work within your parameters. He's by KSAT. He's like, bro, this is what we're going to do. Don't worry. And we're messing with some custom builds. We're getting it together. And he's like, oh, by the way, free copy of Destiny 2 with the NDPC build.
Yeah.
Snuck it right in.
Wow.
Bro, I threw that thing on and I saw plus 60 frames on Destiny for the first time.
And
I had to make a public announcement to my clan on Xbox. I love you, but I am not coming back. Until consoles can do this at minimum 60, you will see me in 3 to 4 years. Bro, I got slander. Rest in peace. Diddy said, how could you? I was like, I said, to you ignorant guys, see what I'm doing over here? I don't want to hear anything y'all talk about. And I took the stones. I got pelted. They shame. And I didn't care. I was over there when he bought. Shout out to Mikey Barra at the time, who was playing. That was when Destiny was on BattleNet, I believe, still, because they were still over there on PC, and he had his clans going. I'm telling anybody, I'll tell you this, Mikey Barr is a hardcore gamer. So he put me on to a lot of things, and we were playing, and bro, it was amazing. And I remember
crossplay wasn't introduced yet, right?
Crossplay wasn't introduced. This is how hardcore I did. This is what I knew.
That's a big deal. What you did.
Bro, I restarted my Destiny career from scratch again because it was so amazing. That's the dedication I put into this thing. Again, good point, John. No cross progression, no cross play. Like that. That's where I was. So anyway, long story short, obviously when the series consoles will announce, you're finally caught up. It's about time. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, all right, I may entertain seeing you guys. Let me wait for the specs. And then obviously, speaking of things around with the crew, they did say that. And then cross progression and cross save really helped me kind of synergize and go back and forth. But yeah, that was the moment. Destiny, we all have that game and that thing. And then it just opened up my world, man. I was just like, wow, look at all these things I'm missing out. Look at all this software, these Steam games, all these titles I missed out. I was a big XCOM guy. I got versions of XCOM I never even knew existed.
Did you go through that honeymoon phase like I did, where all of a sudden the games that you were building your Steam library, like I still remember my first one, Batman Arkham Knight. Yeah, I was like, this is a free remaster that I have, right? And it wasn't free because I paid and the PC, but I was like, this is incredible. And I've been waiting. I've been begging these guys to bring it out on Xbox remastered. It's been here all along. Yes. It's incredible. I'm sure
it was incredible. Absolutely. So many, again, titles that I missed out on, and just things that were very PC specific. And a person who likes a little bit of turn-based and RTS, like there's so much here. It was just a plethora of riches. So yeah, I was just in that zone and just playing older stuff. Oh wow, let's see how this runs. Let's see how this looks. Right? It's a euphoric feeling, and you get into it. And then obviously this for me now, obviously I went back to console, yes, with the series consoles. But to your point, John, the Ally and devices like the Steam Deck really now let me continue that love as a person who travels so much like me to be able to, to continue those experiences and play at high fidelities and stuff like that. So yeah, that was pretty much what did it for me.
Yeah, and I'll throw it over to you now, okay? But the last thing is, like, I've seen even pictures when you're gonna travel to PAX or the places that you've been with the crew. I've seen you carry around the Series S with that with the up. Is it up spec? Is that the name of it?
X screen.
The X screen, and I've seen you dedicated. Hey, I'm gonna take this thing, my little Xbox laptop with me here, so I can just imagine how excited you must be for like the possibility of an Xbox portable. But okay, go ahead. Any questions you may have for Cog?
I actually will continue down your line of thinking, sir. People have heard me expound on, and let's not get it twisted, ladies and gentlemen. Lord Cognito is a technologist in his own right. The man speaks the normal talk, but he has lived in those corporate boardrooms like we all do. The man knows what he's about. So I will ask you, sir. Much like when I asked Fuzzy Belvedere and he opens the tech bag and shows us all his bag of tricks. Let us ask you for your bag of tricks, sir.
Yes.
What do you want to see from something different? Like, you have now gotten your hands on the ROG Ally. You've enjoyed that. I'm sure you've probably tinkered with a Steam Deck here or there. You've probably seen one or whatever. You now get the benefit of being in the room where it happens. You might be able to get your hands on some stuff that not normals can't get their hands on sometimes. What do you, if they're listening right now, what is it that you want to see? What device? What's the culmination? Because as a man who champions the health as well, you don't spend all the time lifting the weights and then forget leg day. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I can't forget leg
day. You need a balance, right? You need a balance of specs as well as uniformity and all of that. What is it, the ideal thing in your head that you're like, okay, if you get this right, now you got me?
Look, I mean, it's a great question, because I think for me, I'm just so excited about where things are going. Obviously, our console brethren are struggling right now with the idea of exclusivity, and
we call them troglodytes, but continue.
Oh, that was good. Look, and I get it. But to me, the future of gaming, in my opinion, is just that uniformity of being able to play where I want to play. But the key for me is the digital rights. And we're slowly getting there as far as like, okay, yes, if I have Game Pass, I have, PC Game Pass, for the most part, I have uniformity there. There's sometimes where I'm the guy that it's filling out the UI, the platform forms on the Xbox and say, hey, this is what needs to be improved. This is what we need to have synergy here. Hey, there's a bug here. I'm the guy filling out the reports. People talk about gamer score. If you look into your inside Xbox hub, I'm the leader on my friends list. I'm always giving the platform feedback. And one of the things that I realize is, even with things like an Xbox Play Anywhere, there's many times I've reached out to certain people on the team and I'm like, hey, I picked up Sifu. I see it has Xbox Play Anywhere as far as my digital ownership. How come when I'm going to my Ally, it's not there? And they've given me feedback, say, hey, Cog, thank you. Good catch. We're fixing things behind the scenes. So the key thing is, outside of Game Pass, I want my digital library, right, to be able to now, whatever I own outside of it, it is on my PC, it's on these other devices, or if they decide to make a handheld, I need that type of synergy. So that's the first thing. Unification of storefronts. I'm a person that, I have EA Play, right? But we know that the launcher on PC is different. And like, I hate the fact that if I have a Zao, Tales of Kunsera, and I played it on Xbox, but you go over here on the that's quote unquote the same EA Play storefront, you don't have that again. You got to start that over. It's these little barriers that are annoying, and we need to have more unification there. From a technology standpoint, I know King's going to get annoyed with this. It's very controversial. But look, we can't avoid the elephant in the room with AI. And look, I understand the artistic purity of wanting things to remain from the human element. I get that, but I'm also about the progression of tech and making things easier from a development standpoint. And if there are tools to help developers make things easier, I do feel that it's something that should be looked into. So I'm excited to see how far the console makers push. Also, obviously, the PC space, how much that is pushed. I guess for me, we're always at that threshold from a graphical standpoint. Things are always going to get better. Yes, no doubt. But maybe there are some diminishing returns there. But to me, I want to see gameplay innovation. I want to see things that we like, okay, I know it's simple. Me and Attic was talking about it, but like, remember when the Nemesis system came out for like Shadow of Mordor?
Revolutionary.
I want to those things where it helps gaming progress and we're getting different things besides just, okay, we're adding more lighting and yes, there's more ray tracing. And that's pretty beautiful. I get that. I just want to see more transformative things with gameplay. And I'm hoping, provided proper regulation, you don't want to take people out of jobs all the way, you know what I'm saying? But, I understand there's controversy with it, but I am a person, and King kills me all the time. Like, if Skynet's coming and it's inevitable, we got to deal with it on some level, you know what I'm saying? So the joke is, what's your man, Miles Dyson? Let me be the Miles Dyson for y'all. Let me do this. Right?
Let me rip off my arm. Hold on. Let me reveal my Terminator arm.
For this. No. Let me be part of this solution. I'm the Miles Dyson. Let me hold this down. So that's a little push bull that me King, and I actually had this conversation with Jason Ronald one time, which was kind of fun. And look, I get it. We're in scary times.
It is funny you say that. I believe that the world of AI is upon us, and that there's a world of universal basic income. That will happen where all your jobs get taken away. So let's get nice, awesome things that games can play while you're sitting at home doing not a damn thing. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get something.
And Kay knows I'm like the one button king. I spent a whole weekend setting up a stream deck just to launch my game, set the mood in here and all that stuff. So I don't know, guys, but Cog, let me ask you this, right? Let me piggyback off what Kay is saying. When it comes to kind of like where you're at kind of in just your gaming journey, right? Especially this generation. Like, it's been so refreshing for myself, and I know Kay has been kind of like living this life for a while, but like, for example, to be able to get home on a Monday from work or get off of work if you work from home, and you're like, you know what, today I want to game, I want to sit down and game on my PC because I want the highest fidelity, highest frames possible. Or you just say, hey, you know what, I'm going to sit back on the couch and grab that ROG Ally or your CCP machine of choice. And you just, and you just, and you just use that opportunity to play. Even these emulation devices that I've kind of like just gone and just purchased and it's been so refreshing, with things like retro achievements, how it's bringing these emulated games to life. By the way, something we'll talk about next week, Kay, GameCube is about to get retro achievements enabled for emulation. I mean, for people that are into that, that's a big deal. That kind of keeps record of your gaming history, and it's just so refreshing, right, to be able to be here. So Cog, my word for my question for you, and I kind of asked you this at first, and now I'm kind of changing it a little bit. If you were to kind of split how you're gaming nowadays, right? Nowadays, where are you doing most of your gaming? Like percentages here. Are you doing handhelds 50% of the time, 40% of the time? When you want to play on your console and settle for the for what they give you, and not that it's a bad thing.
Be nice.
Try to unify the people, man. You go.
It's just this is challenging because we don't mean that in any slanderous way, but it comes out that way, right? But when you want to settle for Todd Howard telling you 30 is the best they can do, you'll do so. You know what I'm saying? And there's a difference.
The creative vision.
Yeah, the creative vision. Yeah, there's a big difference between you settling for that and you saying I'm gaming like this because I want to right now because I have other choices. But in reality, we're all very blessed and fortunate enough to be able to own multiple devices on this panel, on this chat, probably. So I understand too that there's people that, hey, if that's what you can afford and game on, by all means, enjoy it to the fullest, right? Yeah. But my question again, percentages, what would you say? How would you break down kind of like how you're gaming nowadays?
Yeah, it's probably still about 60 to 70% in front of the console, in front of the living room. I must admit, the OLED is very, very tempting, and I still get my little VR on 120, 20 hertz when needed. But yeah, I mean, it's the percentage on PC has gone up, but again, it's thanks to the handheld. Again, for a person who travels, I am the target demographic for Steam Decks or ROG Allies and the CCP devices because, again, there's nothing worse. I don't know. There's nothing worse than being on a 6-hour flight And you guys have seen my posts. Like before I'm boarding that plane, I'm loading things up. I'm telling y'all, these are the 4 games I'm about to play, and I'm about to have a ball. There's nothing more, defeating than being on these flights and you're just bored out your mind. And now, you got your right at your airport AC, plug right there in front of you. If you run out, and I'm able to get so many things done. One of the, and I talked earlier about the future of gaming, that synergy between console, PC, and then a portable device. To me, when Starfield came out, the shout out my auntie Dark in the chat because he used to see my tweets on this. There was something refreshing about going from the bedroom on a Series S when I'm winding down, getting some things done, getting some quests done. If I'm playing on a big boy, the big TV living room, okay, fine. I can still continue right then and there, the synergy. But the dope thing is right before I leave, load up the Ally, boom. Starfield right there, loading my cloud save, continuing exactly where I'm at.
Where you left off.
Yep. Boom, get on the plane. Yep. Now go to the hotel. Had the Series S, pull that out, hook that bad boy up, get a little Wi-Fi, boom, continue again. It's the non-stop synergy. That to me is the future of game. It doesn't matter where I'm playing it. And then, oh, by the way, let's say I didn't want to bring the Series S. I want to bring Little Man with the up screen. Boom, I got my laptop. Maybe it's a little 3070 or whatever's going on. Boom, open up the laptop. I'm right there in there. I'll tell you the truth. Actually, when I was in the hospital recovering, I had King bring my laptop. This was like a year ago. And bro, I was getting Starfield, Ghostwire, to all my game pad. I was getting stuff done. And with my laptop, all he did, I said, bring my laptop, bring my controller, my adapter, and I'm good to go. I can still game, and I'm getting achievements. I'm getting all the things. Like I'm not missing a beat.
It's magical. And me and Kay always try to have, like, we always try to lead with that we're living in like a really special time, because like think about put yourself in your shoes when you were small again. The best you could do is Game Boy Advance, probably when you were lying up or getting on a flight, right? So it's really incredible where you are. Kay, if you have any questions for Kaga, I don't know if you want to.
Oh no, yeah, absolutely. Last question I have for you, and we're gonna get out of here soon enough. As John was talking about, and by the way, before I even get to my question, I wholeheartedly agree with you. That has been the holy grail for gaming in my life for a long time. Having a device or having a setup, I will say, that will go with you wherever you choose to go, and it is native. Because we don't live in a world where cloud can follow us. We just don't.
Still mind blowing to me sometimes, right? Kay. Still mind blowing.
Yes, and to be able to pick it up and you have your cloud saves follow you, and you have this native device, that native, and it's all good, and it's chef's kiss, right? And that's the reason why when everybody's very much stuck to a console or to a PC, I'm like, I'm just a gamer. Whatever scenario I find myself in that can continue my gaming forward is what I want to continue, right? So I'm not beholden to any PC, I'm not beholden to any console, I'm not beholden to any handheld. I traverse them as long as they get me to where I need to go, which is my game, and preferably the same account, the same stuff. There's some growing pains there. Like right now, as a guy who has many handhelds, on Xbox, for example, their store gives you like a limit of how many handhelds or consoles you can have. You hit that level, and now all of a sudden you have to be online to play their game, because there's no longer there's. And I spoke to Jason Ronald and a few others about that. We got to fix that, because if we live in a world where handhelds are available, you're gonna have a lot of devices, and you can't expect. So they got
offline console limitation. I know what you mean. Yep,
they gotta foresee those things, especially with all these devices. Like they gotta say, hey, you know what? There's gonna be people trying multiple devices, etc.
Exactly. So I do believe there's room to grow there, but we are like we've been saying, we are at the precipice of greatness. There's so much happening there. Now, I will say, I believe, and people on this show know, I believe that in the world we live in, as good as it is, if you want to own it, you better rip it or find some way of putting it on your hard drive, because they will get up one morning and decide, and by they, pick your poison. I don't care what you mean. It could be Steam, it could be anybody. They can get up one morning and go, button pressed, and now all of a sudden you don't have access to any of your stuff. That just happens, right? And I live in a world where I have been able to indoctrinate my children with the gloriousness that is Sonic, with the amazingness of OG Nintendo games and all of this. they get to play it like I played it because it's still there in almost its entirety, right?
Right.
So I guess to the point now where I will say I have every console known to man, and every console I have plays other consoles because you got to do it that way.
How we do it? I see what we doing.
So as a proud member of the Ragoons as you are, sir,
yes.
I must ask you, how have you dipped your toes in the emulation waters? How do you feel about emulation now? Us on this show here do not condone the
disclaimer, right?
Of any games.
There's the disclaimer.
Blah blah blah. But after the generation has left you by and they refuse to give you a way of accessing your material, you better find a way to get it.
Play responsibly.
That's where we are with that.
Yeah, good point. No, yeah.
What are you the drink? Well, so what do you think? How's your experience been with emulation? Is that something you dip your toes into? I know myself and King are overdue for a powwow in that department.
Yes.
What do you think, sir?
I actually learned from King. King is solved. Those are the two that kind of really like, hey, man, you need to get over and see what your device can do and start to emulate. But I also want to backtrack a little bit. I do want to shout out Series S. Dev mode.
Oh yeah.
Very powerful. Very powerful.
Beast.
Yes. And the thing is, I know there were some changes in people a couple of years back, and then there's some recent updates in the emulation community in demo, and they've really been taking strides. I highly recommend you guys. MVG just put out a video maybe yesterday. Yes, please check that out. And they at least all the way up to the 360 era. You can get pretty much everything at the highest resolutions, and you made a great point, Kate.
I'm able to play both GOWs on one system. I'm just saying.
Hey, you doing it as the console said you could do in that mode.
You know what it is.
Utilizing the tools available when we do it. So look, what's you made a great point, Kate, in the sense that my frustration right now, and I even had this conversation with Maddie, is that nothing hurts more than you have a favorite game and then, oh, by the way, licenses and that's expired. And oh, by the way, they just take the storefront down or take whatever down, and you're just stuck. These are like cherished games, right? So this is where I do support the emulation community. Like, we need to be able to preserve. And there seems to be no strides in a video game museum or anything that you can play, keep these things going. So why not? I will continue to support that, and absolutely. So yes, I've been dipping my toes in that type of stuff. I'm the guy that goes back and I'll play. I told you before, Atari Lynx. I was a big Turbo 16 fan, a big 3DO fan. The forgotten consoles that I felt like had potential that, never got a chance to shine. And of course, I'm a Sega kid, so
come on.
You already know the Genesis ports is going down and all my favorite things. And there's so many what it is, you realize there's so many pockets that you missed out on as a kid, whether it be financial or whatever, that you're like, wow, there's a version of this that I didn't even realize that. So yes, I have dipped into my toes in the many devices.
Let me piggyback. Let me piggyback off Kane. Ask you this last one, and we'll get out of here.
Yeah.
Have you looked up or explored any of the many emulation devices that, like the AYN Odin 2, the Anbernix of the world, and stuff like that? Have you been tempted to take a bite of that apple?
I thank the great Lord Sovereign for that.
The Retroid Pocket.
Yes. Also, I want to shout out his brother, Kaibatsu. Those two are the kings. They are the ones that really got me into the scene. And
nice.
Again, the origins kind of remind me of the old days. The statute of limitations are up, but the old days where, back when certain things, you would be able to have a console modded by certain individuals in the area. So we have origins, the lords, of being able to explore access to these.
Yeah, but you were playing demos. That's what you were doing.
I was playing demos. That's
all.
It.
That's all you were doing.
You
were just trying out the game.
That's what we going. That's how we gonna call it.
That's what we're doing. We're just demoing these things, okay?
No doubt.
But Cog, thank you so much, man. We're coming up on an hour 30. We don't like to go longer than that on these shows.
First of all, this is just the intro.
Hey man, you guys got your favorite.
We ain't got 4 more. We ain't doing.
Nah, man. We're gonna
saved that for GCP. Unfortunately, we saved that for GCP.
Okay.
Yeah, this show is pretty concise, and we like to hit that an hour.
We don't have have a bloviator on. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta keep it concise.
Bloviation.
So just a couple of things here. I got some notes here, Cog, and seriously, because it's such a privilege to have you on, and Kay Asante, and we were both so excited equally to have you on tonight, because as this show grows, we're 42 episodes in. We hope to get more esteemed guests like yourself. I want to personally congratulate you in the Lords for reaching the milestones that you have, and to me, right, as a lifelong gamer, and I know Kay feels this way, and many people in our chat feel this way, because we were all so giddy and excited for you guys on that interview with Peter Moore, man. Wow, what a milestone. You know what a great that needs to go into like gaming history, seriously, because it's a throwback. It got us all in the feels, man, seriously. And I thought that you guys did such a great job, not to mention all the great shows that you do. So Lord Cognito, I'll give you a chance to exit, to give a outro here first, and then we'll get to Kay. Lord Cognito, everybody knows where they can find you, but just in case that they can't, let them know about the 2 podcasts that you're mostly on, and just what you're going to be up to, what you're playing right now, and what you hope to kind of accomplish as 2024 closes out, man.
John, no, first of all, thank you for that. Much love. The Peter Moore interview definitely is very emotional for me, because it's something I never thought would happen. At some point as a content creator, we all have our bucket list, right? We all have our people who, man, it's one day if we could get this person on. And let's be honest, Peter has been out of the space for a while. He's been doing his personal ventures, as far as Liverpool football, and then his personal thing, Santa Barbara. So it just worked out magically. And then to see one of your heroes say they'll do something and work with you, and then have it kind of come out the way it had, and then the guy says, hey, I loved it so much, let's do a part 2. Like, again, that's one of those ones for me will mean so much, and to say that, hey, I could consider him a friend, I can reach out, like, it's just
amazing.
Words can't describe what that means. And see everyone's support and give the kudos. That's all you can ask for as a country. So thank you for that, number one. As far as us, me, the Lord Cognito on Twitter, and you catch the Iron Lord podcast every Sundays, the Lord's Day, 1 p.m. Eastern. And for those who want a Xbox-centric show, my man, Mr. Matty Plays, who has a great bucket list interview himself with nice. God Howard. But you catch us on the Finding Duke, saying Last Stand Media. And then obviously for Slow-Mo specifically, he can catch me on the Last Word Destiny podcast with Ty Guy Travis and Evanta, so he can learn about shooters and how to be successful in the space when all of his are dying off and he's looking for new homes. So
any bunny suits in those that he's got?
I'm just messing with him, but you can do that. But as far as the last question in reference to games I'm playing right now, I'm in my bag right now. I'm in a really cool indie bag. Shout out to Path of the Goddess from Capcom right now. Playing the demo. Really love what they're doing. Very unique game, a little action, a little bit of turn-based, and it's very, very cool. Some Japanese horror aspects to it. So that, and then also shout out to Steam with the Alters demo. The Alters,
it's great. Oh man, it's impressed. So good.
So yeah, I hit that demo up on Steam, and I was just like, man, they've got a lot of potential here with the different toning of yourself, the personalities, and the management there. So those are the 2 right now I've been playing. Obviously, Destiny, I know I've been going crazy with that, but those are 2 that's been kind of cleansing the planet. So I'm really, really excited for that, for big time. And again, much love to y'all, man. I love the conversation. Appreciate the patience, with my crazy schedule. But man, this was a lot of fun. Kay, you know how much love I got for you, brother. You're like my brother from another mother. We got so much in common, and it was so good to build with you multiple times in Florida, and then obviously in LA. Hopefully we get John outside so we can spread the good word of the Rogue Ally to the
I gotta know.
So we get that. I got the pre-order. You pushed me. I'll be honest with you. You pushed me over with the pre-order. I was gonna wait.
No, I mean,
you put the
them pom-poms, man.
Hey,
pom-poms are very effective. You gotta cut it out.
For those 6-hour flights. I said, man, I hate being tethered to that plug, that airport.
That's all I'm saying, man.
I get a little bit more performance.
I got you. I feel you, man. I feel you. So thank you so much, Kyle, one more time, seriously, for joining us. Of course, my other half, my co-host, this show would be nothing if he wasn't on it either, okay? Que Asante, let us know, man. Where you gonna be at for the rest of the week? First of all, second of all, congratulations on a heck of an episode on Saturday on the GCP. Yeah, you guys went long, but it was really good conversation. It really was. I was glued to it, especially the CEG talk and all that good stuff. And Kay, before you go, brother, let the good people know kind of like what we're kind of working on the background, with the whole Patreon thing, and also a new article went up today, which I think is a good read
on the site.
So yes, first and foremost, let me once again throw the flowers at Lord Cognito. Most people, if you have not had the benefit of meeting this man, like I say it in jest, but I mean it. His beefiness, the only thing that bypasses the beefy physique is his heart. He's a great human. I appreciate you, sir. It was awesome getting to build with you.
Shut the backpack you had, bro.
Yeah, we had fun with that.
He ain't gonna put. Kid got that backpack for his birthday because of you. They got him that backpack for his birthday. That backpack,
that's awesome.
Fire! Oh my god,
that is awesome. Yeah, that's excellent. No, that's excellent. We had a great time. Little behind the scenes. We're sitting there. We're downstairs where all the moving and shaking is happening. And Lord Cognito, a man among men, is shaking like a leaf. Why? Because his hero, Sam Lake, is right over there. He's right over. We had such fun. It was so good. It is. I was telling the people, meeting your people, your friends, the people you've been chatting with online, meeting them in real, it changes things, right? So we've been to that point. We've been moving and shaking in the background. We're thinking of doing like in real life events, possibly in the short to midterm future. We want to do something like that, and that's causing us to look at funding and how we're going to make all that happen. And so on GCP, I was talking about how we're going to start a Patreon and potentially, we don't want to always be in LA because that's where it is, or we want to like as much. And I think you'll agree, Cog, as much as the show that we saw was the height of most shows, the highlight for me was meeting you again. The highlight for me was hanging out with King and hanging out with Luke Lore and Ains and all the guys. It was just meeting Holly, and it was just awesome. It was awesome. And we want to bring that to more places. And it doesn't have to be LA, right? It could be New York because the brothers are in the house, or it could be in Chicago, or it could be in Philly, or it could be anywhere we find ourselves. So we're kind of in the background working to head in that direction. So y'all are going to hear more about that. We're kind of, working it out a little bit here and there. Also, because I say we stand on the shoulders of giants, I am not joking. These guys are inspirations. They do it the right way. They do it in always the best ways possible. And as such, they inspire us. We started a little thing called the gamingcircle.com.
I love it.
This is a little thing. It's not too crazy. Right now, it's just a small little WordPress site. And I've been working with the great community members. The blog section, we got some articles up. Recently, we had 2 great articles that actually just came out yesterday. A certain person, it was 2 days ago, a certain person by the name of Chad Dufall wrote a great article asking people, should we expect AAA level remasters versus remakes? Now, the reason why I bring this up for 2 reasons. One, Chad is a great writer, and it was really well written. And secondly, y'all probably know who Chad is. I'll leave y'all to discover who Chad actually is, because he went by his government, and you'll be surprised to know who it is. There are a few who may know who Chad is, but you got to read it, and it's not hard to find out who Chad is. You could find it on that article, but it's a great read. And then this morning, our the homie of the community, the man who never ever fails to entertain and educate, the Black Viking. I'll let the title speak for itself. He called it Halo's Evolution, the case for sunsetting Master Chief so that Halo can rise.
Yo,
that's gonna put some thoughts out there.
He came to me. He's like, "Yo, I'm about that smoke. Put this up here real quick."
Ooh, okay, spicy. Oh,
but it's a great read. It's a great introspective read. He did a lot of thinking on it, and we're basically allowing this site to live, to do opinion pieces and to do I call it a hear me out section. Those are the opinion pieces. And then we have the on your radar, the sections where, some indie gems that you may not have heard of before, but really we're loving. I know, Cog, you're about one of those indie gems. I could not for a long time stop talking about Fading Afternoon. I know you played Fading Afternoon.
Yes, amazing.
You know, amazing games like that. So that's what we've been trying to do. And you know, we have the greats like LogNet and a few others that we look at. We go, one day maybe we'll be half as good as them. For now, we're just kind of starting a little something. We're starting a little something.
Awesome.
So
I love you,
ladies
guys.
and gentlemen, go check that out. You know, the gamingcircle.com right now. It mostly features GCP content. I'm working it out, trying to make it, I'm gonna broaden it out. I'm gonna put the Gamers Playground on it as well. So it becomes just a hub for all the content, you know, but it's me, myself, and I working it out in between work schedules and this and that. So it'll take me a little while, but we're getting there, you know. But yes, you can, that's what we're doing. We're doing our best, you know. You can find me Wednesday. I'll be on the great Mr. Boomstick Excel, because without him, a lot of us wouldn't be here. He has a show on Wednesday. I'll be there hanging out. Of course, this Saturday, I'll be back on GCP. I will once again say, I have gotten confirmation that y'all already knew I was going to Gamescom this year, but now I'm going to Gamescom as press.
Let's go.
Let's go.
So there you go.
That's huge, brother. That's huge.
You know,
Yes, it is.
I'm super excited. We're going to be, you know, hopefully getting interviews, talking with some people. I'm in the background working the press situation.
Ooh.
A lot of the great community members. I saw Aaron in the chat a little bit. My brother from Sweden helped me tremendously get this thing off the ground. So shout out to you, Aaron. I appreciate you. You know, looking forward to meeting a lot of the great European content creators and those who move and shake in that space and learning and growing together as well. So it is amazing having you here, sir. Before we go, though, let me catch up on the last couple of super chats, because I do see a few landed. First off, we have Bunty in the house, and he said, after being a member for 1 month, thank you so much for being a member of this channel. He says, that's why I love Xbox. I can play my games everywhere. That is why we all love Xbox. Absolutely.
Bunty.
And then, of course, not to be outdone, the slanderous one himself, Mr. MJ Dark with $2 super chat. He says the X in ROG means exchange by 2020.
We'll see what happens.
Damn.
Don't let him keep us down, John.
We'll
He
see what
ate
happens.
his Wheaties this morning. He came out, he put on his tie, he's ready to start some ish. All right.
If I had to make a prediction, we are not going to hear much from MJ Dark on July 22nd because he's going to be hiding in the bushes. That's my prediction on that. But Kay,
yeah, I
thank
think
you
we're
so
done,
much.
man.
Oh, you're
Yeah,
good.
man.
Okay.
Thank you so much for being here, Cognito.
Yeah.
This is excellent. You are obviously you're always welcome to come back on. We're here to, you know, to talk with the community, enjoy ourselves, talk games, whatever it is, consoles, PCs, whatever. You know, we're just here talking games, myself and Mr. John Wolf, and it's always great to have you with us. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
You guys for the invite. This was a ton of fun. Love the synergy. Love what you guys are building. The playground, man. I'm in the realm of the playground. This was dope.
In
man.
the playground, man. So thank you both. Honestly, it's been a pleasure to host this tonight with both of you. Episode 42 is in the bag. You can catch me. All the consoles. John Wolf is the name. X, Twitter, whatever they call it nowadays, like I always say. And as for my co-host and myself and Lord Cognito, peace, guys. We'll see you next week.